right, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to Student of the Gun Radio. I am your host, Professor Paul Marple. And yes, I am coming to you from the Glass Case of Emotion Studios. You're like, what is that all about? I don't even know. Well, you need to catch up, hippies. You need to pay attention. Where is the Glass Case of Emotion Studios located? Well, it's located at Student of the Gun University. It is a real place. It's not like Never Never Land. Doesn't exist in Imagination Land. Student of the Gun University is a real physical building on real land. It's big and it's gray and it's made of wood and steel. And we host classes here. We do training here, live training. Yes, live training for locals and out-of-state people. But that's not why we're here today. We're here to talk to you about, oh my Lord, so much stuff is going on. There's so much going on actually from this weekend that we could not even come close to fitting it all in yesterday's broadcast. So we're going to just catch up, pick up where we left off, essentially. I didn't even get a chance to tell you guys about my weekend. That's the messed up thing. Is we had a pretty cool weekend. Not Jared. Jared is over there. He's picking the chicken out of his teeth. But while he's picking the chicken out of his teeth, I'm going to have him say hello to you guys.
The chicken was actually pretty good. We used the Flavor God lemon and garlic seasoning.
Oh, did you grill it? Was it grilled?
No, I baked it yesterday.
You baked it. Okay.
Last night at like 11:30.
Why were you up that late baking?
Because I had to make my food for this week.
Food. Oh, you're doing a weekly food thing?
Yeah,
you're doing
Sunday,
a food week?
Yeah.
Ah, good for you. Well, this weekend I took not Jared, but Zachary to a Judas Priest concert at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Biloxi. And you're like, what? Yes, it took me 30 years. Plus, I've been listening to heavy metal, rock and roll music, Judas Priest music, everybody else's music, but been listening for, since I was a teenager, which was 30 plus years ago. And let me tell you what, it was worth the wait. They did a fantastic job. Now, if you guys know anything about Judas Priest, the band, they've gone through many members, guitarists and drummers and what have you over the years. And there are, I guess you could call them originals. There's 3 original members left in the band. 3 of the guys that were there from the very beginning. Then they hired a new guitar player to replace KK Downing a while back. And if you guys you're not into heavy metal music, then you can just like whistle while I finish this conversation. And they got a good drummer, a new drummer that they've hired probably 10 years ago. But Zach and I had a really good time. We had fun. Enjoyed ourselves very much. Posted a couple of pictures up on like the Instagram and so forth. If you're not following us on social media, if you're an anti-social media person, okay, I get that, then don't sweat it. But if you do have Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and you're not following Student of the Gun, well, you're just not right. You're wrong. So you need to go ahead and fix yourself. And you can do that really easy. And if you want to follow us on a super serious pro-gun social media, you can go to gundistrict.com and you can follow Student of the Gun right there. Gun District is the number 1 pro-Second Amendment, pro-gun social media site. You never have to worry about, if I put something about guns, is what's that Berg or Faceberg or what's that turd that owns Facebook that designed it? What's that guy's? The kid? Faceberg?
I don't remember.
Something Berg? Something?
Asperg?
Asperger's? No. What the kid that, and the funny is, what? Come on now.
Tom. No, that's Facebook.
That's Tom. Tom
MySpace.
MySpace, and he killed himself after that kid developed Facebook. He stole it from his friend, then he developed it.
I don't know. I know somebody out there screaming.
Everyone. No, not someone. There's hundreds of people screaming at their iPods and their phones and radios saying, how do you not know that? Whatever. The kid. You guys out there, you're like, I posted a pro-gun story or a pro-Second Amendment story or a pro-liberty story, and those turds at Facebook pulled it down. Yeah, they'll do that. But if you go to Gun District, you don't have to worry about that.
Mark Zuckerberg.
That's it. Something Berg. See, I knew it was something Berg. Zuckerberg. Now, obviously, Mark Zuckerberg is not sitting in an office somewhere pulling your posts down. I'm sure he's beyond that at this point. But if you go to Gun District and you post there, you don't have to worry about, that's a pro-gun thing. We're going to take that down. What else did we do this weekend? Oh, I did yard work this weekend. It finally stopped raining for like 26 hours, or it was more than a day. And Zach and I got out there. I SWAT fueled up. Let me tell you what, folks, because I knew I was going to have to do battle. When you're down here in the Jungle Coast, you don't just trim your yard. You do battle with your yard. You do battle with the hedges and the vines, because there are so many different species of creepy, crawly vines down here. If you don't stay on them, Jared, I swear, if we didn't stay on it, like the jungle, the forest, the woods would envelop the house.
Yeah.
We've got scupperdine, muscadines and scupperdines. It's southern grapes for you guys out there. Vines that have grown all the way from the trellis. They jumped over onto a tree. And they went from the tree, from the backyard, into the front yard where they're not supposed to be.
Wow!
And we've had all these storms. Now we got these little green muscadine, scupperdine things dropping in the front yard where they're not supposed to be. So yeah, I took the SWAT fuel. I did. I got up. I took Plus P, and I took my multivitamin, and we headed out there, and Zach and I tackled the yard. We did the hedges and the mowing and all that garbage. And found some hornets' nests in the hedges. That was nice. So I'm just now my hands are just starting to return to normal size from being swollen. So that was fun. That was a fun thing. You should see me out there. After I got bit the first time, I was out there with a garden rake, poking the hedges to see if they would come out. I would jam it and then back off to see if they would come out. And I went through 2.5 cans of wasp spray.
Wow.
Killing wasps in these hedges. But we got it done, and fortunately we did, because about 30 minutes after we finished, the skies opened up and it rained again. What else? Oh, and I was armed.
Alex
but it's hard to shoot wasps and hornets with your pistol.
Yeah.
I had my TP9 SA. I had my SA on, but it's hard to shoot wasps with your SA.
I was to say, Alex and I went to Lowe's yesterday to pick up some stuff, and remember the weed eater that you can make a hedge trimmer?
Yeah. The one that you can change out the heads.
It's on sale for $120.
No way.
Yeah, you should probably go pick it up.
$120?
Yeah.
Is the gas operated one?
Yep. It takes regular gas.
Really?
Yep. You don't have to mix it with oil or anything.
That's so, yeah.
That would definitely save you some time.
Oh, dragging 100 feet of extension cord around the yard is really not a fun thing. I swear that takes half of the time I'm out there is dragging extension cord around.
Oh, another order just popped up. Our patches are running out.
Yep,
we're less than 10 now.
Yeah, we're less than 10 patches left. So if you didn't pick up on that yesterday, yeah, it might be too late. But whatever. All right. Enough personal stuff from Paul and Jared. Let's talk about our buddies at SWAT Fuel, SWATfuel.com. Go to the store, use the promo code SOTG2015, and you're going to save yourself 10% off of your total order, which is righteous. Is that not righteous? 100% is righteous.
That is righteous.
Velocity Triggers of velocitytriggers.com. And we got a really cool thing over the weekend. The mailman brought us a copy of Arizona, or it's called actually A to Z Metalworker. It's an industry trade magazine for metalworking and fabrication and all that stuff. And there's a feature article in there about our friends, Veer Manufacturing. And Veer Manufacturing owns Velocity Triggers. So there's like a whole story in there about Velocity Triggers. And, you can actually go to, it's the number 2, the letter Z, and then metalworker.com, and that's her website. So if you want to check them out online, that's kind of cool. But so congratulations to our friends at Velocity Triggers for getting themselves a little feature article about their business, and if you want to know some of the background and how they started and what they've been doing and all that, you can check that out. So thank you. And thank you to the Veers for sharing that with us. And you can check those guys out at what? You're like, well, what's this Velocity Triggers all about? Well, you got a black rifle? You do. You want to put a new trigger in it? Because, well, go to velocitytriggers.com. Carrying guns. That's what I'm doing. Are you carrying a gun right now, Jared?
Mm-hmm.
You carrying a TP9 SA?
Yep.
He's got an SA in a crossbreed outside of the waistband holster?
OWB.
OWB.
And you know what I did yesterday?
What did you did?
I had to crawl on the ground yesterday.
Under your house?
Yeah, and I was wearing the Outside the Waistband holster with the TP9 SA, and it did not fall out.
Well, good for you. I'm wearing one right now.
I was laying on my back, laying on my stomach, everything.
You didn't scratch your gun, did you?
Oh, no.
I don't want to drop it. I might scratch it.
That's what the Duracoat's for.
Check those guys out at crossbreedholsters.com. All right, well, that's it. You want to get into the meat of it? You want to get into the cool stuff? You want to talk about stories and junk? Let's do it. And as you guys know, that is if you don't know, that's the music from Psycho. That is actually the Psycho shower scene music. You're like, why, Paul, are you playing the Psycho shower theme music on your radio show? Well, I'll tell you why. Thanks for asking. Now, last Friday, a week ago Friday, we put out a challenge to our grad program listeners to tell us all about their shower knives. And you're like, really? Yes, really. And you guys jumped into it with both feet. All our grad program people, they went nuts. They went crazy. Started posting pictures of their shower knives and shower guns and shower broadswords and you name it, all kinds of crazy stuff. Putting rifles in their showers. I don't know if I would put a rifle in my shower, but we wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that. And Sally sent us she reminded us of the shower, the Psycho shower theme music, so we thought that would be a cool way to introduce that. Now, if you want to be part of the Student of the Gun Radio grad program forum on Facebook, it's easy. You just become a member of the Student of the Gun grad program, and then you ask Jared to allow you in it, and he either does or doesn't. And it's a closed group. It's just for the grad program people, but they communicate with each other and with us and share pictures and stories and all kinds of different stuff. Now, the reason that we're talking about shower knives, you're like, what? Yeah, what is this shower knife thing all about, Paul? Are you paranoid? Are you crazy? Why would you do that? I don't know why you do that. Well, last week we had a story, and it came from not from CNN. Actually, it was reported to us on Fox, which is the weird irony of this thing. The story about the ex-CNN anchor was reported to us on Fox News, on Fox 41. And I'm sure by now you've probably heard it, or at least saw the initial report. Now, we reported on the initial story, which was just kind of cobbled together, and it wasn't even on Fox. It was something else. Was it Washington Times or something, Jared? Because the guy referred to their defensive handguns as 35 caliber pistols, and we were trying to figure out where the reporter dude got that from. He's like, they're 35 caliber semi-automatic handguns. And we're like, Now to this guy's credit, or to cut him some slack, they might have been 357 SIG Glocks or Smiths, or even SIGs, but I kind of doubt that. If I was a guessing man, I would say that the reporter from Washington did not have one clue as to what kind of pistols they were. But I digress. The story essentially runs as this. The ex-CNN anchor Lynn Russell and her husband were attacked in a hotel room in Arizona. It was in New Mexico. It was Albuquerque, sorry. Sorry, Arizona, I didn't mean to mix you up with New Mexico there. In Albuquerque. And the original story came out, essentially a scumbag robber forced his way into the room, decided that he was going to, rob them or what have you. So here you have a couple on the road traveling, decide to stop for a night at a motel, right? They go in there, Johnny Scumbag forces his way into the room, points a gun at them. The husband gets out of the shower, gets a hold of his own gun, exchanges gunfire with him. Husband shot, bad guy dies, husband lives. Go team moment, rock on. Well, that was the initial report. Well, since the initial report came out, of course, all the media people want to talk to Lynn Russell because she is a media personality as well. Well, she gave an interview, and we thought that this audio clip would be worth sharing with you guys at the Student of the Gun audience. And it gives us a lot more than the original story. It gives us basically some lessons learned, and we want to talk about that. We want to dissect it and review it a little bit here on the show this week.
and her husband, who is a CNN correspondent, were staying at a Motel 6 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Russell says an armed robber pointed a gun at her in the parking lot, then forced her back into her motel room. And once they were inside, he demanded their belongings. But a gunfight broke out between this suspect and her husband. Her husband ended up shooting and killing this would-be robber, but he was also shot 3 times, but is expected to survive. So joining me on the phone now from New Mexico is Lynn Russell. Lynn, my goodness, I mean, I understand you're okay. Let's just begin with your husband. How is he doing?
Well, a little better every day. You just have to, take it very carefully. We were on a road trip. Just put the dog in the car and take a really long trip, East Coast to West Coast. And we had just stopped to see some friends, and we had a lovely meal, and we started to drive. We thought we'd put down some miles, and then we thought, we just had a nice meal, nice wine. Why don't we just pack it in for the night and get an early start? And about that time, we saw a Motel 6 sign, and because we had our dog with us, we thought, this is perfect. We'll just do it. This guy actually did that, looking back. He asked me in the parking lot if I had a cigarette. I said, I don't smoke. No, sorry. And then I went inside the room and came out again to go to the car for something, and didn't see him. He was hiding. And I opened the door to the room, and he materialized and pointed a gun at my abdomen. And my first thought was, I still don't have cigarettes for you.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's, rather than let the whole clip roll, let's break it down right there. Let's start talking about this. Number one, safe on the road. Are you safe on the road? Unfortunately, a lot of people, when they go on vacation, they decide they're going to take a holiday, they're going to relax and go on vacation. They're looking forward to fun stuff, visiting people, traveling, and so forth. And they'll check out their defensive mindset. Now, I'm not saying that Lynn Russell did, but I'm saying that that's what a lot of folks will do. They fall into that trap. They think, well, I'm on vacation. I'm not, normally at home I'm vigilant and so forth because this is my turf, it's my territory, and I want to be vigilant. I want to be, secure in my home. But then when they go on vacation, they travel with their families. They don't want to think about that stuff. A lot of people they'll kind of check their defensive mindset or their security mindset, and because they don't want to think about that stuff. They don't want to think about the bad, the nasty, the horrible. They want to think about fun things like going to Disney World or whatever. But you need to, on the road, be as vigilant, if not more so vigilant, because now you're out of your own bailiwick. You're away from home. You're out of your comfort zone. So you need to be even more vigilant. Now let's talk about the got a cigarette thing. This is a ruse that has been used by bad guys, scumbags, for a long time. I mean, this is it's like a cliche, really. It goes back so far. It's either got the time. All right, first of all, it's like, really, you don't have a mobile phone? You don't have a cell phone? Got the time, you got a cigarette, you got a light, you got a match, what have you. Now, that was something that really could be legitimate 30 years ago. Let's go back to the 70s, all right, 40 years ago. Back to the 1970s when probably 35 to 40% of the country smoked, and the got a match, got a light, that might have been legitimate. Today, in 2015, I'm assuming, just based upon statistics, that the vast majority of you listening to me don't smoke cigarettes or smoke, right? Now, some of you do, I don't care, but most of you probably don't. Cigarette smokers don't ask for cigarettes from people unless they know that they're smokers too. I don't smoke cigarettes. Jared doesn't, and I can't remember the last time someone asked me for a cigarette in public. Have you? I mean, when you're out, when you're at the Hard Rock, or when you're downtown, when you're out, do you ever get asked for a cigarette?
I've been asked for a lighter, but not a cigarette.
Never a cigarette. Smokers only bum cigarettes from other smokers because they know that they have that antipathy or that sympathy or what have you. The whole using something innocuous like got the time, got the whatever, that is a ruse that's been used by bad people forever to try and get you to let your guard down and to close the gap on you. Here's the deal. You don't have to allow any stranger ever to get within your personal comfort zone. You don't need to allow that. It's not about being rude or impolite. No one has the right to invade your personal space. And if someone attempts to do that, if a stranger attempts to invade your personal space, your radar needs to be pinging. Ping, 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 ping. Why is this person entering, especially at a motel at night? All right, you're not in a shopping center. You're not at a hotel bar. I mean, if I was sitting at a hotel bar and a guy like at the table over said, hey, man, do you got a light or you got a cigarette? Yeah, I could kind of go with that. But in a parking lot, someone's just kind of hanging out in a motel parking lot waiting to bum cigarettes off you, that is a huge indicator that that's a bad person. All right, that they don't have your best interest at heart, so to speak, that they're going to break into your car, that they're going to, try what have you. So take a lesson from that. And knowing that and even if you're like, no, I don't smoke, and you put your left hand up, give them the universal stop sign, and you're like, no, I don't smoke, and you go into your room. Here's what you need to know. There is some kind of a bum, vagrant, creepy, crawly person that's in the parking lot. And ask yourself this. Okay, let's say that this bum, vagrant, creepy person, I shoo him away. I give him the no. Is that person going to leave, or are they going to keep hanging around waiting for other people to show up? Do you think you're special, that they were sitting there waiting for you as an individual, to show up so they could bum a cigarette off you, or are they just waiting for a good target of opportunity? They're probably just waiting for a good target of opportunity. So knowing that creepy crawly is out there, your radar really needs to be pinging then. Like, all right, this dude's out there. There's somebody out there that's just kind of like hanging around the parking lot. That is never a good thing. Do you hang around parking lots? Do you just stand around between parked cars or leaning up against a building waiting for people to come so you can bum cigarettes off them? Do you do that? No, you don't do that. And you know who does do that? Bad people. All right, let's go ahead and pick up from there.
Tossed me into the room and closed the door. So I'm sitting on the bed, and about that time, good old Chuck DeCaro comes out of the shower, soaking wet and stark naked, and he sees this scene. And eventually maneuvered himself over to the bedside table, a table between beds, and we had our two small guns on the table. We decided if we're going to go across country, then we'll have at least a little protection. Legal guns. We're both licensed.
Do you have a history in law enforcement?
Yes, I do, and he was special forces in the U.S. Army, so we're very comfortable with it, And but he didn't think that the gunman should see those two weapons there, so he stood in front of it. And I brought my purse over and said, "Well, let's see what we can do to help you." To the guy, let me look in here and see if there's anything I can give you. And then I backed up and slipped one of the guns in the purse and handed it to Chuck. And said to Chuck, "Take a good look inside. Do you see anything for him that we can give him?" And Chuck said, "Yes, I do."
Oh, wow.
And put his hand on the gun. And then, I went to the other side of the room to split the guy's attention, and he was brandishing that gun at both of us back and forth, and very agitated. And he decided he wanted Chuck's briefcase, and we didn't really want to do that. And then he grabbed the briefcase and went over to where Chuck was and opened fire. Lots of rounds were exchanged. And all I can say is that soaking wet and with absolutely no clothes on, Chuck outgunned a guy who had already drawn his pistol.
Okay. So here we go. We got a horrible scene playing out. It ends up being a go-team moment. We've got the good guys ventilating the bad guys. Bad guy expires, so he's never going to rob or try and bum cigarettes from anybody else. And when it's not in the audio, but Lynn had a unique... I'm going to open up the story here. Lynn had something to say to gun control activists. Now, since this has been out, a lot of people out there, a lot of pundits on our side of the aisle are like, well, you know how to tell the difference between a liberal and a Democrat is a liberal is somebody that's never been robbed, which is for the most part true. But it doesn't seem to me that was the case here, that Lynn Russell and her husband were like liberal Democrats right up until the point where they got robbed, and then they're like, oh, we should get guns. Well, they already had guns. They're already pro-gun. But the silly, it's funny when you get brainwashed, you still feel the need to be reasonable. Did you hear what she said, Jared, about when she said that they had guns, but she had to put that disclaimer on there? What did she say?
You had a history in law enforcement?
No. When she said we had guns.
Oh, but then we felt it was since we were taking a trip.
No, she said they were legal. They were legal.
Oh, I obviously blanked that part out.
Yeah, she goes, oh, well, we had our guns and they were legal, lawfully. Oh, so she felt the need based upon her experience with the liberal media that to verify, to quantify that they were legal guns. They weren't illegal guns. We have a permit for those. You got a permit for that? You got a permit for that? Yeah. But I digress. But so anyway, so she's been given interviews. Her husband is expected to make a full recovery, thank goodness. And Lynn's been giving interviews. And they ask her, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about gun control? Do you think that maybe... and of course, the first thing that all anti-gun or pro-gun control people do is when a story like this comes out, they're like, see, if we had better gun control laws, then this guy wouldn't have had a gun. Because criminals will, if we can pass one more law, that'll stop bad people from getting guns, right? Is that correct? No. But anyway, they were talking to Lynn, and they interviewed her, and I've got a quote from her. It says, this comes to us from the IJReview.com. That's the source material here. It says, the discussion over the debate to own a gun is just ridiculous, says Lynn Russell. As Americans, we have a right to bear arms, and as humans, we have the right to protect ourselves, she said. I'm sure that the man who shot my husband did not have a gun permit. Criminals will always have guns. The rest of us legally obtain our gun permits. If you committed a violent crime, you can't get a gun permit. It's simple law, she adds. And then she goes on. And this is where the left-wing lunatic, this is where Lynn is no longer going to get invited to those cool inside the Beltway Washington, D.C. parties, because she said this. She said, if you don't want to carry, please don't. Then shut the beep up about it. Yeah, F blank blank K. Make your own decisions. That is from Lynn Russell, ex-anchor CNN. So here we have somebody that used to work for the Communist News Network who decides to be proactive, to be armed against bad people, has a husband who's armed against bad people, and then she's asked about, well, what do you feel about gun control and restrictions and more laws and so forth? And she tells the gun control activists if they don't want a gun, then don't buy one, and to shut the F up about it. And that really sent the left wing off the edge. All right, so go team to Lynn Russell and her husband Chuck DeCaro, and that story there is what led us to our shower knife update. All right, before we move on to a discussion of the Confederate flag distraction and foreign invaders murdering people, let's talk about Frog Lube. What? You want to talk about Frog Lube? I sure do. It's minty green. It just works. Check those guys out at froglube.com. Century Arms, makers of the TP9 SA, which Jared happens to have on him right now, and the C39 Micro, and the sponsors of the Student of the Gun mobile app. If you don't have the mobile app, you are wrong, like Dick Cancer. Just go ahead and download it. It's free, thanks to our friends at Century. Brownells. Brownells is running specials on their 100% made in the USA, made by Brownells magazines. If you don't feel comfortable with the amount of magazines that you have for your detachable magazine rifle, whether it's 223 or 308, Brownells can hook you up because they have their own. They make them themselves. They're Brownells branded magazines, and they're on sale right now at brownells.com. So check those guys out. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, at least in the sponsors of Student of the Gun, is Duracoat. Duracoat products. If you want to Redo a gun? You got an ugly gun? Yeah, you do. You know it. That gun's ugly. You want it to not be ugly anymore, but you don't want to spend $200 or $300 on it? Duracoat has you covered with their can-in-can technology. It's like a miracle in a can. It's crazy talk. And here's the deal. I got to warn you. It's addictive like crack. Because the first time you do it, you're like, wow, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. And then you start searching all over your house for things to Duracoat. Like, I bet I could do that. I bet I could do the knife handles. I bet I could do a hammer. I bet I could do my tools. I bet I could redo my kettlebells, my dumbbells. You can do dumbbells, kettlebells. Dude, this is America. You can Duracoat anything you want. I'm not going to stop you. So check those guys out at Lauer Custom Weaponry, or you can order Duracoat products from Brownells or wherever finer refinishing products are sold. Paul, you said Confederate flag distraction. What are you talking about? All right, listen up, hippies. I don't care where you live on planet Earth. I don't care where you live in the United States of America. I don't care if you live in Maine, Montana, Washington, Alabama, what have you. This Confederate flag nonsense is nothing but a distraction. And the fact that thousands of people are falling for this distraction really should concern you. All this nonsense started, well, the Confederate flag nonsense has been going on for a long time, but it kind of tampered down. It kind of got quieter. Well, then to the delight of pretty much every big media source, we had a Caucasian psychopath racist go into a black church and murder people. And let's face it, the media has been salivating, waiting for this to happen. They have been waiting for this to happen. Because every time one of the followers of the religion of peace comes out, the first thing they say is, oh, don't be too quick to judge. Don't be too quick to judge. We don't know. And then it turns out that they're members of the religion of peace and brotherhood. And they're all disappointed. They're like, oh, man, we really wanted these to be white racists. Oh, well, maybe next time. Well, they finally got one. They finally got a white racist that they can pin everything in America, all the ills of America, this just goes to show you how terrible America is and how we're wrong and how we need to change America. We need more laws. We need more policy changes. So they dig around and they find pictures online of this puke-faced scumbag from South Carolina. Or he's from North Carolina, went to South Carolina. I don't care where he's from. This Caucasian puke-faced scumbag psychopath who should have been probably drowned at birth. They find this guy, and he's holding the Confederate flag, or he's standing in front of one, or whatever. And they're like, got it. Oh, man, we're going to run with this. So now the entire nation has to change. Everyone in America has to bow down and kowtow to the left-wing liberal because one Caucasian psychopath enjoyed or used or stood in front of the Confederate battle flag. So now, based upon that, and have you noticed that we're not talking anymore about the fact that in South Carolina it's against the law to lawfully carry a gun in a church? Well, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about the fact that the pastor at this church was a big left-wing anti-gun person. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about the evils of disarming people, of disarming good people. We don't want to focus on the fact that it is sinister and evil to force good people to be helpless victims. No. Watch what my left hand is doing here while I pick your pocket with my right. We're going to focus on the Confederate battle flag, and in addition to that, we're going to unleash all the bullies, the media bullies, the Sharpton bullies. All the bullies are coming out of the woodwork to force you to obey. And that is the distraction. That is what's going on in the United States of America today. And we also have people who are now committing crimes but they're being told and encouraged that it's good. We have human beings that are stealing other people's lawfully owned property, taping themselves doing it, or, I know you don't have tape in your phone, videoing themselves doing it with their mobile phones and posting it online as some type of heroic action. Hey, look, I just went to a stranger's house and I stole their property. Woohoo! You go, fight the power. And where is the powers that be? Where is Comrade Barry Hussein on this? Where's Comrade Barry Hussein Sotero on this public thievery? Cricket, cricket, cricket. No, Barry Sotero thinks that it's just terrible that it's so easy to get guns in America and we need more laws. Yeah, that's what Barry Sotero thinks. And so while you, the ignorant masses, the peasants, while you're being distracted by all this nonsense, this nonstop coverage of the Confederate battle flag, and we got to do something about this flag, this symbol of hatred. Yeah, while you're being distracted by that, their foreign invaders are murdering our citizens in the United States. But don't worry. But your neighbor has a Confederate battle flag, and you need to take steps to make him take that down. Derp, derp, derp. Well, did you know about this? Did you know that that this is from IJReview.com? Gun used by illegal alien, that'd be foreign invader, who was deported 5 times previously to murder a San Francisco woman, belonged to a federal agent. You mean the only people in America that should be allowed to have guns, government employees? Because if you listen to the Nanny Bloombergs and you listen to the Comrade Barrys and the Nancy Pelosi's and the Leland Yee, I got it right that time, Leland rocket launcher Yee, the only people in America that can be trusted to possess firearms are agents of the state, government employees, because they're trained. You peasants can't be. Let me start right here. It says, new details have come to light in regard to Kate Steinle, I think it's Steinle, a woman who was fatally shot at San Francisco's Pier 14 last week. Francisco Sanchez, the prime suspect who has since been arrested, used a gun belonging to a federal agent, the Associated Press is reporting. While the specific agency linked to the firearm has not yet been identified, the new finding will not change the circumstances of Sanchez's charges. Sanchez allegedly killed 32-year-old Steinle after having already been deported from the United States 5 times. 5 times. Yeah. Oh, in addition, San Francisco's sanctuary city policy has come under fire for allowing him to roam freely despite his lengthy rap sheet of, quote, nonviolent crimes. Oh, I guess he wasn't a violent criminal until he murdered this woman. And then he murdered that woman? Well, all right, I guess we'll begrudgingly call him a violent criminal now. Virginia Keiss, a spokesperson for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, insists that the city's immigration policies put residents in danger. What? That's not down with the sickness. She's not on the playbook. This chick isn't going to have a job very much longer. No, what's down, the program, the playbook is that all foreign invaders are simply coming to America seeking a better life. And sure, there might be a couple of bad apples in the mix, but the vast majority are just here trying to get a better life for themselves.
If they were doing that, then they would do it correctly. They would take the...
You mean like become citizens and pay the taxes and not jump onto the welfare rolls and bleed the country dry? Yep. You mean that? Learn the language?
I got a question. As a business owner, do you have a successful business before you invest in that business?
No.
Okay.
You have to
so
invest
why should they have everything that they want and need or want?
They don't have to invest anything. They're just going to show up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They need to invest to get their citizenship.
Why do you hate people? Why are you mean? Why are you a racist? Why do you hate your grandparents were illegals too? No, my grandparents weren't illegals too. They came from somewhere else. Yeah. Jared's great grandfather. All right, here's the deal. I'm a Native American. You're not a Native American. Shut up. If your relatives were in this country before the signing of the Declaration of Independence, you're a Native American. Suck it. So I'm a Native American. All right. My family's been here for 200 plus years. But here we have a situation, and how many of you knew this? Seriously, ask yourselves. Before we talked about this today, how many of you knew any of the details of this? The fact that this scumbag, this piece of human filth, caught and deported, we got a catch and release program at the border. The federal government doesn't give one rat's fat rear end about border security. Can we all agree upon that? They really don't care. They have, you know what the Border Patrol is like, Jared? It's become Paul Blart. It's become to observe and report. Seriously. They're being told, don't interact, don't stop, don't arrest, and for God's sake, don't point a gun at a foreign invader. We can't point guns at foreign invaders, at people who illegally enter the nation. Oh, they're just people trying to get a good job. Shut up. Didn't we just do a story about that they have absolutely verified a minimum of 121 murders committed by foreign invaders? And if they know of 121, that's confirmed kills. How many are out there that they haven't confirmed? And that's just murders. That's not rape. That's not car theft, auto theft, home theft. That's not home invasions. That's just the big one. That's just murder. How many thousands upon thousands of crimes are committed by these? Well, you're just painting them with a broad brush. Blah, blah, blah. If they were productive citizens, let's go ahead and have an honesty check here. Why don't you check your emotion for 5 seconds? If these people were honest to goodness, productive citizens of their respective nations, why are their own governments handing them pamphlets in Spanish where they telling them, directing them how to go to the United States and get onto the welfare system? Yes, that actually exists. It's confirmed. You have governments in other countries handing out leaflets to their not families, their people, saying, here's what you need to do. Go north and bleed their system dry. If these people are so productive, if they're the most wonderful people on the earth, then why are their own countries pushing them out? That's just not fair at all for you to say that. You can't even ask that question. How dare you ask that question? No, I'm going to ask that question. Why are the governments in Central America, Mexico, et al., Honduras, Nicaragua, you go on, why are they directing their people to the United States welfare system? If these people are so intelligent, productive, hardworking, these are just hardworking people that want to come to America and live the American dream of getting on welfare and not paying any taxes and forcing the society to change, to acquiesce to them. It's horse crap. And it's been going on for way too long. And do you know why it's been going on, Jared? Do you know why it continues?
Why?
There's a word that starts with a W.
Weakness. I'm going to go with weakness.
Weakness. Because for 20 plus years, you and your family and your friends have shut your mouths about it. You let it go. You buy the bull crap from the government about or the CNNs, whatever. These are just hardworking people that are trying to derp. Okay, they are. They're hardworking people that want to come here. Why don't they learn? You know what? Half my family's from Germany. The other half's from Scotland. One half's from Germany. Guess what? When I was a little kid, when I was growing up in a family, my dad's mom and dad, German descent, did they speak German in the house? No. They spoke English. You know why? Because my German relatives, when they got here, learned to speak English. They took citizenship tests. They became citizens. They didn't demand that every sign in every public building be half German, half English. They didn't throw fits And then, so why is it any different? Oh, you don't understand, Paul. There's just so many. Oh, there's so many that they can't speak the language? They don't want to speak the language? And where does it stop? We've got goat rapists by the thousands in Dearbornistan, Michigan, that are now demanding that signs in public buildings be put up in goat rapist ease, Durka Durka. They want Durka Durka signs now. Well, all right, where does it stop? How many languages are on planet Earth? Are we going to acquiesce to everyone? Or just the noisy minority that won't shut up about it? All right, well, if you shut up, we'll do signs in Durka Durka. We'll do signs in Spanish. Well, my family's from Portugal, from Brazil. People from Brazil don't speak Spanish. That's racism. You need to do Portuguese signs. How about Vietnam? People here from Vietnam, right? You need to do Vietnamese signs. Tagalog, you name it. Swedish. What? It's ridiculous. It's stupid. And the reason it's continuing is because you and your friends and your family have all played the reasonable card. If we're just reasonable enough, if we're just nice enough, if we just show everyone that we mean them no harm, eventually they'll get it. No, they won't get it. We have like 32 cities in America that have declared themselves sanctuary cities where they won't allow foreign invaders, criminals. And I like this one, Jared. Do you like this one? Just because they came into the country illegally doesn't mean they're criminals. What? Yeah, that was actually, I don't know if it was CNN. It was someone on a television said, just because they came to the country illegally doesn't mean they're criminals. Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. We either have laws or we don't. Well, we have laws for you white conservative Christian people. We're going to force you to follow our rules. We're going to force you to accept gay marriage. We're going to force you to take down your Confederate flag. We're going to force you to bake cakes and hold ceremonies, and we're going to force you to do that. Jared, how is it that the government can force United States citizens in good standing, taxpayers, they can force them to do X, Y, and Z, but we can't force foreign invaders out of our country? How is that? How does that work?
Because they don't want to.
We can't force sheriff's departments, police departments to arrest and deport foreign invaders. Well, it's just too many. You don't understand. We can't. We just can't do it. Oh, okay. You just can't do it. All right, I got it. I get it now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, wow. Is it that time already? It is that time already. It's time for me to be quiet. But tomorrow we're going to talk about, good stuff and junk, as I look at the show notes. Tomorrow is SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk Day, and between now and tomorrow, Jared's going to come up with a really good topic to discuss. Oh, don't forget, Jared, give them the number real quick. If you want to be one of the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week and have your question played on Monday, the number you need to call is
682-207-SOTG.
682-207-SOTG. And that is a recorded line, and you'll get that, and it'll thank you for calling, and you leave your question, and if Jared is feeling benevolent, he will choose it, play it, and you'll get SWAT Fuel for free. Congratulations. The other number that's on the website, and that's on the Facebook and stuff, that's for if you want to come train at Student of the Gun at university, or that's for people that actually want to come here and do stuff. If you want to be on the radio, you need to use the other one, the SOTG number.
Real quick, good news from our buddy, Andrew Gaddis. His parents let us know that he is at Nationals, and I just want to take a moment to wish him good luck.
Hey, good luck, Andrew. Congratulations for going to Nationals. That's our youth rodeo sponsored kid, all-around good kid and student of the gun and future man. He's a man in training.
He said they did some practice shooting on the trap range today, so the competition is on Thursday, so if you guys could pray for Andrew. Pray for him to do well.
Do well.
We don't have a direct line for you guys to contact him, but if you could post it on the Student of the Gun Facebook page, good luck, Andrew.
Just, He'll hear his name eventually and run around the house screaming.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Cat in the Hat and that be that. Remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a what? Student for life.